On today's show, are the Kings really the 10th seed in the West? Are they the 10th best team in the West? DeMar DeRozan had something to say about it, and so do we on today's Locked On NBA. Let's go.
You are Locked On NBA, your daily NBA podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome. You're locked on to the NBA. My name is Nick Angstadt, host of the Locked On Mavericks podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for being a part of the show. Make it Locked On NBA your first listen today. The best way you can help us grow the show is to listen every day on any podcast platform. Leave a 5-star review, like the video on YouTube, and comment anything below. Let us know where you think the Sacramento Kings will finish in the Western Conference. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use that code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase at Game Time. And joining me, as always, but for the final time, on a Thursday, the host of Locked On Bulls. What you got for me, Pat the Designer?
Air quotes is crazy. Is that a shot? Not just take a shot.
No, I gave him air quotes.
I'm gonna miss this, man.
That's
how we finish it out. I'm gonna miss this. Thank you guys for rocking with us.
Listen, can I keep a Locked On Bulls host around over here? First Big Dave, and now Pat. Whoever you, I guess I gotta bring Hayes in.
Here's the thing. At least I'm not leaving you to like go to a different company and find a different job. I'm just like, I should probably be a parent and raise my second child that's on the way.
There it is. Congrats. Congrats.
Got a little son on the way, man.
That's right. That's right.
Bartholomew Jackson Moranzoni. I know I'm joking.
I was like, wow.
I'm joking.
Bartholomew Jackson Moranzoni.
Figure if I throw a Jackson in there, the
BJM
are going to be good.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So Pat is moving on. So this will be his last episode of Locked On NBA. And so because of that, we're going to do a all counted up. Locked On NBA, where if you've never listened to this show before, on Thursdays, we do Count It Up, where we count out the most interesting, fun things in the NBA. So we pick a bunch of different topics all throughout the NBA, weird things that happen, and ask a question about it. The questions are supposed to do with numbers. We'll see if they do or not. Most of the time they don't.
I think how the show started, there was a lot of numbers involved in it. By the end of us just figuring it out, you'd just be like, count it up. What the heck's going on there? Like, that's not a number at all.
Say something funny here, Pat.
Doc Rivers, President Obama.
Shaq, big chicken, baby. All kinds of stuff. So we'll do that. And why don't I start here?
Big chicken, baby. Zion Williamson and porn star.
Take that for that.
Count it up. Count it up. Count it up. Count it up. Count it up.
DeMar DeRozan went on Stephen A. Smith's First Take today. I did that like the Lee Daniels.
Yeah, a little bit.
Stephen A. Smith's First Take, though. I'll say it like that.
Which take was it?
It had me thinking about the Sacramento Kings today. So I went to FanDuel and I looked up where the Sacramento Kings are as far as odds to win the West. The FanDuel has them 10th behind the Thunder, the Timberwolves, the Mavericks, the Nuggets, the Suns, the Grizzlies, the Pelicans, the Lakers, and the Warriors. They also have them ahead of the Clippers, the Rockets, and the Spurs. My question is, are the Kings the 10th best team in the West? Should they be 10th in the West? Because the odds say that they should be that team.
I don't know if they're the 10th best team in the West, but I think it's close enough that 10 is not a bad spot to put them. And I know that sounds crazy, adding in a guy like DeMar DeRozan, right? But what was the Kings' problem last year, and did they address that? The Kings never had an issue being an offensive juggernaut. They had a 116 offensive rating, 116.7, I believe. They were able to go out there and score points versus the best of the best teams in the NBA, no matter what your defense was. The problem the Sacramento Kings had was they couldn't stop me and Nick. Like, defensively, this team is just, there's so much in flux that you kind of feel comfortable putting them at that 10th spot. Now, am I willing to sit here and have the argument with you that maybe they could be 9 because of the Phoenix Suns? Maybe they could be 9 because we don't know what the Lakers are. Maybe they could be a 9 or 8, right, somewhere in that range. But even so, you're not sitting here saying that the Kings are going to be one of those top teams in the league. You mentioned the Oklahoma City Thunder, who had a phenomenal record last season. They got woefully better defensively, and they were already one of the best defensive teams in the NBA. You look at the Minnesota Timberwolves and what they added through the draft. They really added some really nice pieces that are going to make them better. Now, is Rudy Gobert going to stop anybody down low? I don't know.
Yes.
Is there a boxing counted up on this?
He doesn't stop anybody up high. That is the thing about Rudy Gobert. He'll stop him down low. He won't stop him up high. You put him out on an island, and hey, guess what? He can't guard people.
I think here's my thing, right? Adding DeMar DeRozan doesn't change that. You had a 116.1 defensive rating last season. You're adding a guy in who last season averaged a 118 defensive rating with the Chicago Bulls. There wasn't a lot of defense there. And it's not because DeMar can't play defense. It is I'm focused on the offensive end, so I'm giving more to the offensive end. I'm not giving nearly as much to the defensive end. That's not going to help the Sacramento Kings move up the bracket to me.
They had a 116 offensive rating, which sounds really good, but it was 14th in the NBA. Yeah. So I think that DeMar DeRozan does help them. The thing that I've been doing with the Kings this offseason is I think that they got more talented. I don't know that they got better. But to put them as the 10th seed, I don't know that they're the 10th seed with that amount of talent. But I do think that the Grizzlies are going to pass them up. The Kings were 9th last year. The Grizzlies are going to pass them up. I think the Warriors could pass them up. We'll see with healthy Draymond or healthy and non-suspended Draymond this season. Like that team is primed to pass them up. I think there's a good chance the Rockets could pass them up this season too.
A healthy, non-suspended Draymond.
I mean, that's why he missed games.
That's just such a great way to put it. Just like healthy, not suspended, might actually play this season.
Let us know.
I think here's the thing though, right? How much are you really moving them up? That's why I'm okay with the 10 number. I can make an argument for multiple teams, but realistically, what are we talking about? 8?
Would you be shocked if they're higher than say just do yes or no, higher than the New Orleans Pelicans?
No.
The Los Angeles Lakers?
No.
The Phoenix Suns? The Kings are higher than the Phoenix Suns. Would you be shocked?
No.
The Dallas Mavericks?
Yes.
There you go. So that it feels like 5 is their ceiling.
But 5.
That gets you to 5 if you do Mavs, Timberwolves, Denver, and the Thunder.
Well, here's my thing. The 3 teams that you named, I feel like are the 3 teams that are Pelicans, maybe even 11, maybe 10, 9. You know what I mean? But the 3 teams that you named, I don't have them high in the Western Conference either, because of the things that you can't count on. To me, you're talking about the back end of the Western Conference playoff matchup. So still one of those top teams that can be there. And LeBron has shown you give me a chip in the chair, I can still be LeBron James. Everybody keeps saying it's got to fall off eventually. I don't know if there is a fall off with LeBron. So if you get him in the play-in tournament and he makes it to the playoffs, guess what? If I'm the number 1 seed, it sucks to have to play LeBron James still. Right. You know what I mean? So but I don't think that if we're talking about a season-long thing, I'm looking at the Sacramento Kings or the Lakers or the Pelicans or any of those teams and go, yeah, but I expect them to be top 5 in the Western Conference. When we talk about the Dallas Mavericks, right, you name them, Dallas Mavericks are a top 5 team in my mind. So yeah. I think that, right, yes, they can be above them. Even if they are, I don't know if it's by that much. I just think the defensive deficiencies, especially as good as defensively as the Western Conference has actually gotten, it's pretty good.
You're gonna let me move on.
Oh, go ahead. My bad.
No.
Last episode. Let's do an hour.
Let us know in the comment section where you think the Kings will finish in the West. Let's do one more on the Kings here. DeMar DeRozan on Stephen A's First Take, presented by Stephen A. Smith. He said he believes that the Toronto Raptors would have won a championship in the same year that they won the championship, even if Kawhi Leonard had never been traded there. He said, quote, "I have no doubt in my mind that the same outcome would have happened. My question is, how many caps are you giving that on a scale of 0 caps to I completely believe him to 5 caps? There's no way he's lying through his teeth."
Who's Eastern Conference Finals that year?
Let's see.
I know Philly is the semis.
Was 2019?
2019. Philly is the semis. They would have got through the first round. Dare I say they probably get through Philly?
It was Milwaukee. They won in 6 games. That Milwaukee team was Giannis, Brook Lopez, Chris Middleton, Malcolm Brogdon, George Hill, Eric Bledsoe.
Probably beat that team. They probably get to the finals. And then if we're assuming, let's be real, we know why Toronto got through that championship, right? Like nobody's sitting here confused. Like, oh yeah, it was because they beat the Golden State Warriors at 110%. Which, listen, that may happen. I don't think that is a cap. I'm gonna go no caps.
Wow.
I think that team could have done it because it wasn't anybody else in the East that was keeping Toronto from winning a championship. It was one dude, and they didn't play him that year.
They went 7 games and were one shot away, one bounce away, one like dust fleck on the rim away from not getting through the Sixers and losing.
No, I get that. I understand that, but I mean, like that's the one where.
If that margin is so small, I think the margin between DeMar DeRozan and Kawhi Leonard is big enough that would have made a difference in that series, and I think they lose to the Sixers.
Who all did they give up on that team? I think here's the thing: Kawhi could have done it.
It wasn't it Kawhi? It was DeRozan and Jakob Poeltl, right?
Was it just those two? I think you're right. I think you are right on that. I think Kawhi's somebody that could do it by himself. I think the team construction probably would have been different, but like the player that was stopping the Raptors from going to the finals was LeBron James.
That was his point.
That like outside of LeBron, they had everybody else's number. We saw him be able to beat the Sixers.
That was the Sixers team with Jimmy Butler.
It was. But DeMar plays well against Jimmy.
They also had Ben Simmons and Boban. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Well, Ben Simmons didn't slow down what's his name at all. DeMar DeRozan versus Jimmy Butler, 23 points per game, 4.6 rebounds, 4 assists a game in 31 games. A lot of 30-point games.
I still don't think they get there.
Let us know what you think.
Games. How many caps should DeMar DeRozan get for that statement about that? Coming up, let's talk about, is Domantas Sabonis a top 20 player in the NBA? Is he? I got some thoughts on that coming up.
Count it up.
Today's episode is brought to you by eBay Motors. Passion, drive, patience is the formula for winning a championship. Kawhi Leonard knows something about that.
Yeah.
DeMar DeRozan doesn't.
All right. Let's stop throwing DeMar shots out here, though.
eBay Motors is everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance, which is what Kawhi was at in 2019. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with that eBay guaranteed fit, that part is going to fit your ride every time, or the kid hasn't even been born yet. Pat's dozing off on it. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, easy way to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die live at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusion supply. eBay guaranteed fit only available to U.S. customers.
Big chicken, baby. Zion Williamson and porn star.
Take that for that.
Count it up. Count it up. Count it up. Count it up. Count it up.
Thanks, everyone, for hanging out with us on Locked On NBA, being an everyday or listening every day. We have a daily Locked On show that covers your team. Check the link in the description to find a show that covers your team every day, including Locked On Bulls, who will continue to be hosted by Hayes.
Yeah,
doing a great job over there. So don't leave just because Pat is leaving. Don't leave with.
Please don't leave because I'm leaving. No, keep supporting. Keep supporting. Hayes is doing a great job.
This show will continue on. I'll have a rotating group until
maybe support Nick a little less. Nick.
I did put an asterisk on your name.
You threw an asterisk on there. Maybe support Nick a little less.
We're also having an all Locked On NBA host meeting, and I did not invite Pat.
He did not invite me. Yeah, I didn't get the email.
He's gone. Tough. He's gone. Speaking of gone, Hoops Hype had a top 25 list and did not have players like Kyrie, Harden, Jimmy Butler, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Bam Adebayo, and others. They did have 2 of the Kings that we're talking about: Domantas Sabonis at 20, Lillard at 21, Zion at 22, Paolo at 23, De'Aaron Fox at 24, Pascal Siakam at 25. My question is Domantas Sabonis really a top 20 player in the NBA? Kyrie, Harden, Jimmy, DeRozan, Kawhi, Paul George, Bam Adebayo, Jamal Murray, Trae Young.
All right, hold on.
None of those players are better than Sabonis.
Let's do the exercise again. Go through it.
All right,
don't start with Kyrie because you will buzzer very quickly.
I mean, you want me to start with worse players?
Well, I'm just saying, no. Start with the list you gave.
Okay, Kyrie.
I just said don't start with Kyrie. No, he's not better than Kyrie.
You said start with the list that I gave. That was my list. Okay, Jalen Williams of the Thunder.
No. Or yes, he is better than Jalen.
He's better. Yeah. Sabonis is better. Larry Markkinen.
Yes.
Yeah, he's better. Rudy Gobert.
Yes.
Rudy Gobert versus Domantas Sabonis.
Give me Domantas Sabonis.
Okay. Karl Anthony Towns.
Give me Domantas Sabonis.
Okay. Scotty Barnes.
Give me Domantas Sabonis.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Trae Young.
I can't figure out what's going on with Scotty Barnes up there sometimes. Yeah.
This is hard because
that one's a tough one because I think that's the range. And because of that, I think that's why you can make a case for him. Trae Young is about
Trae Young, 26 points, 11 assists last year.
But I think the thing is too, right? Like, do we think we couldn't see Sabonis do more on the team that he's on?
No,
you know I
think
like
he's doing what he can do.
You think this is all he's got? If there's no Malik Monk, if there's no De'Aaron Fox, you don't think
everybody's got those. I think he's doing what he can do here.
I think there's more in the tank, but okay, I hear you.
When have we? Okay, so we've seen him before. Last year, he averaged 20 points, about 14 rebounds, 8 assists. Half of them are handoffs.
2014 and 8 is nuts. I like that we're just glossing past.
I mean, we just said he was not better than all. I mean, we're going Trae Young, who averaged like 30 and 10 recently. Yeah. Like, so Trae Young we're iffy on that one. We'll do both. Jamal Murray.
Give me Sabonis.
Okay. Wow.
That may be more of a health thing, though.
This one, I'll be furious with you. Bam Adebayo.
Bam adds more of a defensive element. And I think that because of that, I'd still go Bam because I think Bam can give you the points.
That's right.
The one thing that Sabonis adds that Bam doesn't have, well, first off, a jump shot. But the one thing that Bam has that Sabonis adds that Bam doesn't have is the court vision. So you kind of got to ask yourself, would you rather have the court vision with the scoring, or would you rather have a dominant defender down low versus Sabonis, who's kind of he's okay. He's not the worst defender.
You're telling me the difference between where Bam is as a defender, one of the best in the NBA, to where Sabonis is one of the worst centers, is like 4 assists a game is worth that? To me, it's not. I'm picking Bam every single time on that.
I mean, I'm not mad at that. I'd still go Bam above him, but I don't think that it's like a massive gap where, like, if Jimmy had Bam on his team or he had Sabonis on his team, I think the success could be similar.
Paul George.
Now, give me Sabonis. You got to be on the court.
Wow.
You got to be on the court.
Speaking of Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, no, that's a different kind of good though.
When
he's on the court, he's a top 5 player.
This is one of the reasons why I can't stand some of these lists sometimes. It's like, all right, are you okay? Well, he can't stay on the court. Well, that doesn't make you less good of a player. It just makes you less available. Best ability is availability. Okay, he's still better as a player. Kawhi Leonard is absolutely a better player.
Yes, Kawhi Leonard is a better player.
Any of these guys, DeRozan, Jimmy Butler, Harden, Kyrie. Give
me Sabonis over everybody except Kyrie.
No, I'm taking Harden too. Harden was really good last year. Harden was really good in the playoffs too.
I'll take Sabonis.
Okay. We still named several players that should be above him, and Sabonis was okay. Let's do the other one. So Siakam, Fox, Paolo, Zion, Lillard. Those are the ones listed under him on the list.
Siakam is tough because Siakam is like,
I take Sabonis over Siakam.
I'd take Sabonis over Siakam. You know what? I'll say this. Paolo got to stop getting disrespected.
At 23?
Paolo's a monster.
He should be above Sabonis, for sure.
Paolo should be above Sabonis. Paolo is an absolute monster. I think Paolo's problem is literally, I don't know if y'all remember this.
Marketing.
But like, yes, marketing, 100%. But do y'all remember like how people just like didn't know Dwight Howard was great? Like, he was great the entire time. And then like he went to the finals and they were like, this Howard guy's really freaking good. He was like, he's been good for 4 years.
And all we found out about him is how many snakes he owns.
He's 2 DPOYs in, guys. I don't know if you noticed. He's good. Like, I didn't know he could lead a basketball team.
You just did this to Gobert recently. He's won like 4. You're like,
Gobert. Nah, that's different.
All right, okay.
That's different. No, you already know what's going on there, bro. Come on now.
Listen, you can't come on this podcast, the house that Locke built, and disparage the screen assists king over here.
Listen, I wanted Rudy Gobert to be more than he was. Remember, I was sitting there saying, if you pass the ball to Rudy Gobert, he can score more than 20 points because every time he would take more than 10 shots, he would score more than 20 points. I don't know what happened to that guy. He's dead. Like, that guy no longer exists because he can't even catch the basketball no more. Yeah, I'm good. Like, hey, I'm with Shaq.
We spent way too much time on that. Coming up, Trae Young said he would be the best player of all time if he was 6'8". Is he true? Should the Bucks still have traded Damian Lillard? Did LeBron do the most patriotic thing ever to ever happen? We'll talk about all that and more coming up. Count it up for the whole show.
Count it up.
Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Game Time is an amazing ticket service. I've used it all the time. I use it to go to Dallas Wings games, even though they didn't make the playoffs. I use it to go to theater, concerts, comedy, all that kind of stuff. And it helps you save because they have the last minute ticket deal. Sometimes I'm on my way to an event, sitting in the passenger seat, and I will buy a ticket because they're cheaper than when they would before. I also love the all-in pricing. You have to toggle on the feature, and all you have to do then after that is just look at it. Look at the number, and that number is what you're going to see at checkout. Gotta love that. Gotta love not being surprised by fees and all that. You get the view from your seat, all kinds of stuff like that. You gotta love taking the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use that code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem that code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it?
Game time.
It's game time.
Count it up.
Big chicken, baby. Zion Williamson and porn star.
Take that for that.
Count it up. Count it up. Count it up. Count it up. Count it up.
Is anyone sick of the theme song yet? Three times in 30 minutes. Is that too much?
I'm here for it.
Trae Young recently in an interview said, if I was 6'8", I feel like I would be the best player to ever play this game. My question is,
Count it up.
is he right? Or who would actually be the best player ever if they were 6'8"?
Kyrie Irving.
I'm going Steph.
Stephen Curry is a great one.
I actually have a better answer than both.
How much weight are we adding here? I think that's
we're just stretching him out. They
you
just
know what
turned
I mean?
into Chet Holmgren.
Is he just tall? Or is he more lengthy? Or is
Trae Young also wants to know if you're adding more hair.
He needs to do that anyway. They got surgeries for that. I have to tell you, I met his barber. And I was like trashing him as his hair as I
the
met
barber.
No, I was trashing Trae Young's hair as I met his barber. I was like, bro, he got to figure that out. You got to put something back in or take it all off, one or the other. And he was like, yeah, you got to chill on my client, man. I cut Trae hair. I was like, it's your fault. He was like, I didn't do the hair thing.
It's your fault.
It wasn't my fault. I'm cutting the middle, man.
That was your fault.
Steph
is a great one. Kyrie is a good one. I think Ja Morant is a good one. Imagine Ja Morant at 6'8".
Yeah, Ja Morant's a dog at 6'8". Here's my thing though. Why say this? If I was 6'8", I'd be the great. You're not. And
it's SMS.
Like here's
not a
my
text
thing,
message.
Right?
Short man syndrome.
I think that like Allen Iverson, when he was on the court, clearly wasn't tall. He absolutely thought he was the greatest player when he was on the court.
We invented a new term in basketball for him. Pound for pound, the best.
Pound for pound. Like, I think pound for pound, he's the best. But no, like, that's such a weird mindset to me. Like, I can't even follow that. Like, hey, if I was taller, I'd be the best NBA player of all time. Why don't you just try to be the best NBA player of all time? Like, why isn't that going your way right now? Like,
it's also the classic, like, if my grandma had wheels, she'd be a bike. The actual answer to this question, by the way, Iverson is a good one. I think Jason Kidd could be a good one. Dwayne Wade, Chris Paul. The real answer is Jerry West. Jerry West is like 6'2", 6'3", and he was amazing. And Jerry West is
what is Jerry West listed at?
He's like 6'2", 6'3".
Is he listed at that? I thought he was listed taller than that.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, they got him 6'3". Okay, I thought he was listed at like 6'5", and just like, what the heck's going on there?
No, and I met him and I've stood next to him.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, when you see him in person, it's like, no, it's not.
We were like almost the same height. I'm 6'2", so.
But no, yeah, Jerry West
would be amazing.
Jerry West would be yeah, that's crazy. Give me a Rick Barry.
Oh, okay, Rick Barry, let's go. Okay,
give me a.
If he was 6'8", would he still do the underhand free throw thing?
Yes. Yes, he would have to do less arm motion though.
Almost 1 year ago today, Damian Lillard was traded to the Milwaukee Bucks, September 27th. It hasn't even been a full year with Damian Lillard on the Bucks. Isn't that wild? No. My question is, 100 times out of 100, would you still do that trade if you're the Bucks? They sent Drew Holiday, Grayson Allen, their 2029 first-round pick, 2 pick swaps.
I don't know if you remember this, but I told y'all this was not a trade that I cared for.
I remember this. That's why I'm bringing this up.
I literally was like, no, you shouldn't do this, because here's the thing: at the end of the day, you're sitting here trying to build a super team. You were trying to appease Giannis. You know what Giannis could have used last year, even through all of the attitude, even through all of the, and I don't know if Giannis had an attitude, but like, oh, remember, like he was throwing the weird comments out there, right?
Yeah.
And you
Everybody's
knew
got to be better, even the equipment manager. Like,
yeah, you knew he wanted something else. You know what he could have used last season? Drew Holiday,
one of the best defensive players in the NBA and the leading three-point shooter in the NBA.
You know what I mean? You know what he really could have used on his Drew Holiday. And so, like, I was never a fan of this trade. I got to the point where I was like, I don't care that Dame's in Milwaukee. Congratulations to Damian Lillard. You get to finish your career out in a small town. But, like, no, the trade should have never been done. It made no sense for Milwaukee to get involved from the start. He didn't even want to go there. He made a song about going to the Miami Heat.
That's the only part to me that I'm a little, like, have trepidation on, is I think if you're the team, talent-wise, you do this 100 times out of 100. You take the chance. Who else are you getting for, you got an aging Drew Holiday who looks amazing as the 4th best player on the Celtics, right? But as your second, third best player,
Drew Holiday didn't look bad his last year on the Bucks.
No, which is why he was traded for Lillard, right? He was still traded with good value.
But my point is,
but Damian Lillard's an all-star, all-NBA type player that could add the offense that they needed.
That's great. Or you could have utilized the guy who had offense and defense and was still one of the best scorers in the NBA.
Who?
Drew Holiday
was not one of the best scorers in the NBA.
Drew Holiday, when he needed to score, was able to go out there and get a bucket. Drew Holiday's on a team he doesn't need to score on. When guys went down and they're like, who's going to get a bucket tonight? Drew's able to get that for you.
If you increase his role, he's not dropping 30 a game like Dame is.
No, he's not averaging 30 a game, but when you're averaging, 17 and you're able to get a couple of steals out of it, you know what I mean? Dame's throwing 30 up and they're losing the game 145 to 156. Like,
I still would have done it.
I'm not in on it.
Let us
know.
Good
job. Congratulations to the Bucks. You got a great path.
I was going back through this year in the NBA on some of these because I was like, what are ones that we didn't do this year? There's an image that sticks in my mind from the Olympics. LeBron James, front of a boat, holding a flag in the rain with all 1,000 of the Team USA athletes behind him.
Count it up.
Has there ever been anything more patriotic ever in existence than that image of LeBron James holding the flag?
There's been more things patriotic, but I don't know, like, image wise, that's a hard image. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that's
Washington crossing the Delaware and it's LeBron with the flag.
That's an acrylic painting in somebody's house.
Hey, it's the firefighters from 9/11 raising the flag up. It's LeBron. It's Washington crossing the Delaware.
Yeah, it's a hard picture. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, it's one of those where it's like, when you like, even just seeing everybody in the picture, seeing everybody who's next to him and all, like, it's a cold picture. But I'm gonna still say there's more things more patriotic. Not getting me canceled.
You ever seen an eagle
on the 9/11 episode, bro? Like, come on, you're not kidding me. On my last one, somebody's gonna be like, this dude here.
All right, this is a good one. This is a good one to do. Adam Silver this week said there wasn't much discussion of expansion at this week's meeting of League Board of Governors, but the topic will still be addressed at some point this season. He's mentioned this a couple times, been asked about it. The NBA does intend to expand at some point. My question is, how many teams and where? I'm gonna go. There's no way it should be more than 2.
Definitely. I think 2 right away for sure. The Vegas is obvious.
It has to be Vegas and Seattle. I can't even hear an argument for another place.
I can hear an argument for a spot other than Seattle.
Where?
I'd be cool with Seattle. I mean, listen, Chicago can use another team. if we start another team, can I come back and be the host of?
You didn't have to leave now.
Yes, Nick. How dare I be a parent? No.
Yeah, but you would come back for Chicago team number 2.
I need something.
The Chicago Beans, the Chicago Bean Boys.
Bean Boys. Hey, I guess that is a good question. Where would be another good city? Is a
Louisville's one that's mentioned. Mexico City. You could do Vancouver again. They took the Grizzlies from them.
I mean, listen, they didn't take the Grizzlies. So let's not act like the Vancouver.
Okay. The Grizzlies were taken from that city.
Yeah, you're right. Like no, did a lot of attendance at those late Vancouver Grizzlies games. Yeah. I mean, listen, Seattle. I think Seattle is chomping at the bit to get a team back, and so I think that would be a good city for it. But I'd be interested to hear some other city. Louisville doesn't pop for me.
It's just a big basketball town. Biggest cities without an NBA team: Seattle, Tampa, St. Louis, Raleigh, Durham. It's kind of surprising to me.
I'd mess with Tampa, but now Florida's got too many teams.
They got too many. Pittsburgh, San Diego, Baltimore, which they already have TC. Nashville, Hartford, and Columbus, Ohio. I put one in Cincinnati before Columbus.
Yeah, I'm not no more Ohio teams either. Nothing more for Ohio.
Yeah. Let us know what you think about
Tampa. Tampa's not bad.
It's an interesting one.
Tampa's an interesting one. I think the thing is, if you start a team, you also have to like ensure that players will be willing to go there and sign there. Like
people don't like the Pacific Northwest. We just talked about a player that didn't want to leave, Damian Lillard.
I mean, if we're talking about like putting a team in Baltimore, it's like, all right, guys, I'm not going to Baltimore.
You guys are right next to the Wizards. Your Wizards travel won't be very far.
They might rub off on us. I don't like that.
Reddit recently had a post of the worst looking jump shots of all time with guys like Joakim Noah, Bill Cartwright, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. My question is, who has the worst shooting form of all time that you've seen in the NBA? The Michael Kidd-Gilchrist one is. That one is
Michael Kidd-Gilchrist is interesting. I'll give you one. I'll give you one that it was so efficient, but it was gross. Give me a Kevin Martin.
Yes, Kevin Martin was brought up in the thread.
He was an absolute freaking bucket.
But makes no sense. You're like,
I just remember like, what was it? It might have been 14-15 season, something like that. I think he knocked down 7 threes, and the whole time he's like shooting over people, and I'm like, how the heck is he shooting over you guys? He had like 37 points in the game. It was amazing.
Similarly, Sean Marion, his did not look good.
Matrix,
but eventually,
the Matrix is a good one. His was like
Here's a sneaky one because it was smooth, but it also was not good. Is rookie Lonzo Ball?
Yeah, but it wasn't efficient though.
He shot 30% his first year from 3.
Yeah, it's not good.
But remember, he would take it from his hip and then swing it around like a half circle. Like also Moses Brown with the one-handed free throw. You remember that?
Oh yeah, Moses Brown's a good one.
Yeah, remember that one?
Moses Brown's a good one. Joe Keem's a really good one. I'm not gonna lie.
Joe Keem is bad.
Because literally players would go, this doesn't make sense. You shoot it like this, and then it just rolls around the rim in. Like
it's like he shot it with his shoulders.
Yeah.
It's like your power came from his shoulders, and you're like,
that's when your dad's a tennis player.
Last one here for Locked On NBA. This week, Shannon Sharp accidentally went live on
Oh! Let's go!
No,
Let's go! I didn't know if we would. Are we not doing this? Are we not doing this?
There's no good question for that. There's no good question for that. I just wanted to see your face when I started.
Hey, dog, count it up. How many pumps before the growl?
Yeah, he was getting.
How many before the growl came in, dog? That was the greatest video of all time. You saw absolutely nothing, but it was just. That is the best part about it. Have you seen the update?
I watched him in Ocho, and I watched him with the apology and all that.
But did you? So he said he got hacked, and then he goes on the show. He's like, "I ain't get hacked."
Yeah, he went on the show. Was like, "I did not get hacked."
He said,
that was me. He's like, I don't even know how to go on IG Live. It's like, I respect that.
Here's the funny part.
You know what I did? I immediately went on Instagram and I was like, how do you go on IG Live?
No, literally, I was like, I don't know if he didn't know that he started it or it was already started and he didn't know how to end it. Like he accidentally started and then didn't know how to end it.
Well, so when he was talking about it, he was like, he didn't even know what it was. And then people were FaceTiming him and he was like, why are people FaceTiming me? And so then he's like, oh, why are you telling me? I'm not live. I didn't do it. And so then he thought people were like lying to him for whatever reason. And then eventually now he figured it out.
Here's my favorite part about it. If you've heard the audio, clearly
I could not press play today. I could not do it.
He's ignoring multiple phone calls to get to where he's trying to get to. You know,
listen.
When you hear 4 rings, don't you think somebody's dead though? Like
not if I'm Shannon Sharp. He brought his phone probably all the time.
Shout out Unc, man. Hey, listen. I just love the best part about that is Terrell Owens' tweet, and it's one of those if you know, you know, and he literally goes, "Hey, she sound familiar." And when I saw his tweet, I literally was like, have you ever seen that GIF where it's like the dude driving the car and he's like,
all right, my favorite one, which is why I started to write this one. I couldn't think of a good question for it though. Was the best joke I saw was that she had him breathing like Doc Rivers on a Stairmaster.
Yes, bro.
At least we brought it back NBA related.
Oh God, this is a great last episode. Shout out to you guys. Man.
There you go. Thanks, Pat the designer. Congrats on the new baby on the way. And good luck in all the other stuff to do with the Breeze and ESPN Chicago and all that. You can still hear Pat on things, just not here. So thanks for everything. Thanks for all the fun and all that. Guys, continue to listen to Locked On NBA. We'll be back tomorrow with Wes and Adam Mares. Great stuff all the way. Guys, thanks so much for listening to Locked On NBA.
Bang, bang.
Boom.